217-735-2317 today to schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning, and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. With the water warming up and fishing activity increasing at area state parks, local outdoor officials are asking for help in maintaining the cleanliness of public spaces. Department of Natural Resources Conservation Police Officer Noah Workman says while the state works hard to provide trash receptacles, they can fill up quickly, and the burden of keeping these areas beautiful falls on the visitors.
We'll do a detail once or twice a summer to kind of try to catch the people that are taking just leaving their garbage. As simply as that. Whatever you take in, take more out, or at least just take in what you took out.
Mm-hmm.
I ask people, be prepared, bring a garbage bag. I mean, they provide, the state on those public lands provide trash cans. And even if it's full, because sometimes like the spillway is a very popular fishing spot, especially when the water's up. Those trash cans get full real quick. Man, just leave the bag. I know the critters may get into it, but the park staff is really good about going and trying and keeping that area clean. Leave your bag next to the garbage can, stuff it in there if you can. But keep that, the banks of like the spillways, the one I use as an example. And I noticed the DeWitt Bridge the other day. We opened up east of DeWitt Bridge, and I noticed, bags already hanging from trees. Like you've done your due diligence to keep your litter contained, but then you just failed to take it with you. You left it hanging on a tree, and it's like, come on.
Workman frequently encounters individuals disposing of cigarette butts directly into the water, which he describes as a particularly inconsiderate action at popular fishing spots.
The state really good about keeping trash cans out for everybody, and that's they provide the receptacles. Please use them. Like on the details that we do. I mean, I have, absolutely. If I'm sitting there watching somebody fish, and then they just another one that really kind of grinds my gears, and it's funny because it didn't really bother me until CPO Awesomeness got me on it. Flicking cigarettes into the lake. That is one that I don't know. I watched him address it one time, and I was like, never thought of that. And I'm like, yeah, that is absolutely stupid. Don't flick your cigarette into the lake and sit there and watch people fish. And if they're smoking, just watch them flick their cigarette butts in the lake. And I'll go down and write a ticket for it.
As the calendar turns towards May and the start of the boating season, Workman reminds the public that now is the time to ensure all gear, including safety equipment and vessel registrations, is up to date ahead of the Memorial Day weekend.
Well, we're tapping in next month. We'll go over boat safety, but I've noticed a lot of boats coming out already. Not so much recreational boats, but a lot of fishing boats. But check your boats. Make sure you've got all your safety equipment. We'll kind of dive into that really deep next week or next month with Memorial Day tapping on the front door. But make sure you've got fire extinguishers. Your registration's up to date. Those are an every 3-year thing, so it could easily slip your mind. So double check your registration.
Just a few years ago, outdoor officials threatened to close local sites because trash buildup had become so ubiquitous. Officer Workman hopes it doesn't come to that this summer. As the spring planting season picks up across central Illinois, local authorities are reminding residents to keep their eyes on the road and their hands off their phones. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang says that with more tractors and combines moving between fields, motorists need to exercise extreme patience and maintain a high level of awareness.
Allowing more time. The farmers out there, these are huge pieces of equipment that are extremely high dollar pieces of equipment. They are very, very limited on the road space. Obviously, they take up quite a bit of that road. So, giving them a little extra space, slowing down, and then when you do have the opportunity to pass, again, just make sure that you're extremely careful and, making sure that nobody else is coming at you. Obviously, the radio's going off. Making sure that you're not going to cause an accident when you pass, that there's no blind spots.
One of the biggest hazards during this time of year is the significant speed difference between passenger vehicles and farm implements. Sheriff Vogelsang notes farm equipment often travels at 25 miles per hour or less, and many rural roads feature soft shoulders that make it difficult for large machinery to pull over safely.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most of the roads are, you've got the curves, the corners that maybe you don't see an oncoming car. You're trying to get out a little bit to see if there's anything coming, because the equipment is so large, and it does obscure your views as you're trying to get by them. So, just make sure that when you are passing that it's that you've confirmed that there's no oncoming cars and or blind spots.
You guys do much in the way of in the way of seeing like accidents spike in certain parts of the county at all, or are there like treacherous spots where you guys kind of see more accidents than not?
Actually, we've been pretty lucky in the last several years. I think for the most part, just getting the word out like we are today, people are giving them some extra room and slowing down, and the number of crashes involving farm implements hasn't been that high.
The call for safety comes just after National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Sheriff Vogelsang emphasizes even a split-second distraction, such as checking a text or adjusting a GPS, can be catastrophic on a narrow rural road when approaching a wide-load tractor.
I mean, I think we all know that all it takes is a second to take your eyes off the road. How fast things can happen. Looking down at your phone, things just happen way, way too quick. So put your phone away. There's actually those features now where your phone detects if you're driving, and can send an automatic text alert that, hey, I'm driving and I'll call you once I arrive at my destination.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving claimed over 3,200 lives nationally in 2024. In Illinois alone, insurance data indicates farm equipment collision claims often spike between March and June, with over 180 claims reported during that window last year. Experts warn that a car traveling at 55 miles per hour takes only 5 seconds to cover the length of a football field, often the exact amount of time it takes for a driver to realize they are closing in on a slow-moving tractor. Now for your local obituaries. Cynthia Cindy Martin, 76, of Clinton, passed away peacefully at 8:10 p.m. on April 25th at her home in Clinton. Visitation will be at 10 to 11:30 a.m. Friday, May 15th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton, followed by a celebration of Cindy's life for close friends and family at 12 noon at the Clinton Country Club. Memorials may be directed to the DeWitt County Fair Association. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. It's DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to enjoy them. Your home should too. At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, enjoy one-story living and walking paths right outside your door. Spend less time on upkeep and more time enjoying spring. To learn more, click our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about back-to-school preparations. Part of getting your kids ready for the new school year means making sure they're healthy. SIU Center for Family Medicine is here to help with back-to-school and sports physicals. Healthy kids learn better and play harder. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine. Forward for you.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW, AM, FM, and streamed online.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Monticello scored 5 runs in the first inning, and the Sages beat Rantoul 9-4 in Illini Prairie Conference high school baseball action on Thursday in Rantoul. Grant Kiger's first of 2 triples plated 2 runs in the first inning. Jax Bailey drove in 3 runs for the Sages offense. Zeke Young and Dawson Gatros combined for 8 walks and 8 strikeouts, as it was Gatros getting the win in relief of Young for Monticello on Thursday. The Sages rebounded from being shut down by St. Joseph Ogden on Wednesday to move to 22-1 overall. They go to 7-1 in the Illini Prairie Conference. Monticello visits Mount Zion on Friday. Lincoln overcame an 8-0 deficit and beat Bloomington 11-8 in non-conference high school baseball action from Lincoln on Thursday. The Purple Raiders looked to be rolling after a 7-run second inning to go up 8-0, but the Railers chipped away. Ashton Lucas scored 2 with a single in the bottom of the second inning to cut the Bloomington lead to 8-3. Carson Komnick, Lucas, and Gage Rutledge hit back-to-back-to-back run-scoring singles in the bottom of the third inning to tie the game at 8-8. Rutledge hit a sac fly in the 5th inning to put the Rail Splitters in front 9-8. Komnick added a 2-run single in the 6th to make it the final 11-8 margin. Lucas was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a stolen base to lead Lincoln. Komnick was 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Lincoln goes to 14-7 overall. They host Metamora on Friday. Braden Leish struck out 14 across 6 shutout innings, leading Heyworth to a 10-0 win over Delavan in non-conference high school baseball action on Thursday in Heyworth. Leish allowed 3 hits, hit 2 batters, and did not issue a walk in the win. He also finished 3 for 4 with a double and 3 RBIs. Lucas Bartles and Jeffrey Clawwitter drove in 2 runs apiece for the Hornets. Bartles and Carter Brooks hit triples, while Braxton Denning added a double. Heyworth is 7-10-2 overall. They host Fieldcrest in Heart of Illinois Conference action on Friday. Josh Jones struck out 15 across 6 innings of 1-run ball, leading Normal Community to a 7-1 win over crosstown rival Normal West on Thursday in Big 12 Conference high school baseball action at Normal West High School. Jones allowed 2 hits and permitted 2 walks. Kyle Glass struck out the side in a scoreless inning of relief. Max Heineman was 1 for 4 with an RBI double to lead the Ironmen. Gavin Swartz, Lucas Beatty, Andrew Nauer, and Jacob Angel drove in runs in the balanced offensive attack for Normal Community. Normal West drops to 13-9 overall and 6-4 in the Big 12 Conference. They travel to Peoria High School for a twin bill on Monday. Normal Community goes to 18-2 overall and 9-1 in the Big 12 Conference. They host Peoria Richwoods for a Big 12 Conference tilt on Friday. J.J. Weatherholt led off with a home run against Pirates ace Paul Skeens, and the St. Louis Cardinals finished off a 4-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 10-5 win on Thursday. Skeens is 4-2 and fell to 0-5 against the Cardinals after allowing 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings. The reigning NL Cy Young Award winner's brilliant April finished with a rare dud as Pittsburgh's losing streak hit 5. The 23-year-old has been masterful after a shaky performance on opening day, allowing only 3 runs over his last 5 starts. The Cardinals matched that in the first inning alone. Weatherholt, who grew up in the Pittsburgh suburbs, sent a cutter into the right field seats 3 pitches into the game. Jordan Walker followed 3 batters later by turning on a sweeper that scraped over the left field wall, marking just the second time in Skeens' 62 big league starts that he surrendered multiple homers in the same inning. Alec Burleson finished with 3 hits and drove in 3 runs for the Cardinals. Weatherholt, Walker, Nolan Gorman, and Pedro Pajes had 2 hits each. Nathan Church added a 2-run double during a 5-run 8th to give the Cardinals some breathing room after the Pirates had cut a 4-run deficit to 1. Gordon Graceffo is 2-0 and 1 in relief of starter Hunter Dobbins, who didn't make it out of the 5th inning in his first major league start since tearing the ACL in his right knee last summer while playing for Boston. Dobbins was acquired in December's trade that sent Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox. Brian Reynolds had 2 hits and drove in 3 runs for the Pirates. Brandon Lowe hit his 8th homer for Pittsburgh, which played sloppy defense behind Skeens to head into May with its promising start to the season in danger of slipping away. The Cardinals return home to welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers over the weekend. The Pirates host NL Central rival Cincinnati to start a 3-game weekend series on Friday. In scores from around the MLB yesterday, the Detroit Tigers beat the Atlanta Braves 5-2, while the Baltimore Orioles took down the Houston Astros 10-3. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Francisco Giants 3-2, while the Cincinnati Reds beat the Colorado Rockies 6-4. The Washington Nationals beat the New York Mets 5-4, while the Milwaukee Brewers routed the Arizona Diamondbacks 13-1. The Athletics beat the Kansas City Royals 6-3, while in the second of a doubleheader, the Houston Astros beat the Baltimore Orioles 11-5. The Philadelphia Phillies beat the San Francisco Giants for a second time 6-5 in 10 innings, while the Minnesota Twins beat the Toronto Blue Jays 7-1. In NBA postseason scores from yesterday, the 3rd-seeded New York Knicks routed the 6th-seeded Atlanta Hawks 140 to just 89, while the 7th-seeded Philadelphia 76ers beat the 2-seeded Boston Celtics 106-93, and the 6th-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves beat the 3rd-seeded Denver Nuggets 110-98. In NHL postseason scores from yesterday, the Minnesota Wild beat the Dallas Stars 5-2, while the Anaheim Ducks beat the Edmonton Oilers with the same score, 5-2. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device. Best of all free, all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch morning show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
Now you can listen to WHOW on any Amazon Alexa-enabled device. There are 3 easy steps. Step 1.
Download the free Alexa app by going to the App Store on your mobile device.
Step 2. Enable our skill by going to the menu, select Skills, then find WHOW, open the skill.
Step 3. Activate the skill by saying, Alexa, play WHOW radio.
That's all there is to it.
And to stop the WHOW stream, just say, Alexa, stop.
WHOW, now on the Amazon Alexa app.
When it comes to connecting with America's farmers and ranchers, nothing beats the authentic voice of Ag Radio. Farm broadcasters have been the voice of rural America since 1944, building trusted relationships with agricultural producers across generations. Today, the network of over 140 Ag radio stations reaches farmers and ranchers during their most productive hours when they're actively working their operations and making business decisions. What makes Ag Radio uniquely effective? Farmers listen to farm broadcasters for information that directly impacts their livelihood. When your message is delivered alongside crucial weather updates, market reports, and agricultural news, it receives the same attention and credibility. Farm Radio Connects offers agricultural advertisers targeted access to this engaged audience through professionals who understand both broadcasting and agriculture. According to the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, 78% of farmers consider information from farm broadcasters highly trustworthy. When you need to reach rural America effectively, choose the voices they already trust. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com and discover how Ag Radio can elevate your agricultural marketing strategy.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. There are questions being raised about the presidential line of succession following last weekend's White House Correspondents' Dinner attack. Breaking a Democrat logjam, Republicans have ended the 76-day Department of Homeland Security shutdown. The Founding Freedoms Law Center has filed a legal challenge to a ballot question for a proposed Virginia constitutional amendment enshrining a sweeping right to reproductive freedom, including abortion, throughout pregnancy. 2 bank workers have been fatally shot during a robbery in Kentucky. The search is underway